All right, guys, thanks for joining. We'll just give it a couple of minutes while the speakers and see how many people are coming on, and then we'll begin. All right, guys, let's kick off. Firstly, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I know we have people from all across the globe tuning into this, so thank you for taking time out of your day to have a listen. And welcome to the first Spaces that's been hosted by Apis Network. So this is volume 1. So please give us some patience if there are any hiccups. This is the first time we're trialing this out. So yeah, we really appreciate you being here, both as guests and as listeners as well. So also big thank you to PermaDAO for co-hosting this and the help of the organization that have come through from your side. So the first weekly one, our topic today is going to be building the future on Arweave and AO. I'm guessing some of you may have been able to guess that with the ecosystem that our guests have come from. So I believe everyone has been added to speak. PermaDAO, I have been trying to add you as a co-host, but it is not accepting it at the moment. Bear with me on that one. For that. So I can see all the speakers are up there now. Let's start with our co-host, that's PermaDAO. If you want to just introduce yourself, who you are, and what you are doing.
All right. Thank you, Connor. It's great to see everyone here. So I'm Joy from PermaDAO. We host a variety of projects and have been the largest Arweave community globally since before AO, actually. And with AO, we've launched projects like TYPR Today, can think of as like AO's version of Twitter, and AO Game. We also have a long-standing projects like PermaSwap, which is continuous build on Arweave, really just covering everything from DeFi to AgentFi. Yes, looking forward to today's session.
Oh, exciting, and glad to have you here, Joy. Moving on, bit biased here, Apis Network.
Hello everyone. My name is Mateo. I'm the head of development and relations with Apis Network. I'm currently a university student, and with Apis Network right now, we're building a trustless GPU network on the AO ecosystem.
Cool. Cheers, Mateus. And then we have, going down the list, ARIO.
Hey everyone, appreciate being able to chat with you. My name is Phil. It's kind of crazy, my second Twitter space in 2 days, so it's good to see some familiar faces here. And yeah, I've been in the Arweave ecosystem a little over, 6 years now. Founded Ardrive, I think almost 4 years ago, which is kind of like a Web3 Dropbox, but stores your data forever on Arweave. More recently, we've been working on the RIO network, which is a decentralized network of gateways that provide access to Arweave data as well as a means to upload Arweave data as well. So really excited to talk with you all about that, as well as how it fits in with AO and some of the things we're building on top of there as well.
Cool. Impressive stuff. And I can't say how glad I am to hear you say Twitter Spaces, not X Spaces. And I'm glad that I wasn't the first to do it today. So I do appreciate that one. And the Permaverse.
Yeah, hey everyone. I'm Simone from Italy, and I'm not like Phil that is here since years. I didn't even know about Arweave in January, imagine. And then I studied a lot, and I really found out that these Arweave and AO, what they are giving to this to gaming ecosystem, because I am a game developer actually, so I'm not a web developer or a blockchain developer. And I suddenly saw a lot of opportunity to bring my expertise into this ecosystem and to get the most of decentralization and fairness. That is something that I think the two biggest values that AO and Arweave can give to the ecosystem. So I'm building the Permaverse as a first decentralized, totally 100% decentralized gaming platform. At the moment, Web3 games are not really Web3. They only have NFTs. I like that with AO, you can have the computation 100% on chain. Thanks to Phil, I can upload my app on Arweave through Arweave, and I can access it through AR/AO gateways. And so this is what I can do, and I'm able to do that also thanks to the other platforms here. So yeah, that's it.
Cool. It sounds like we've got a really versatile mix of both sort of geographics, where you guys are coming from, and also the projects you're building. So really great to have you guys here. We got quite a few questions. So, well, I say quite a few. It's only 4. And then we will leave it open to see if there are any questions from the community afterwards. But I'll kick off with the first one. So, I mean, obviously it's definitely clear by now that everyone here is building in the same space, right? What specific advantages have you experienced, with your project utilizing AO Computer, and how has it impacted your development process and innovation within your project? So starting again, let's kick off with our co-host Permadal.
Yes. So yeah, sure. So Permadal's initiator Alproc, who is one of also the forefathers of AO and the prosper of SCP, has been always guiding our development. So our goal is to solve the blockchain trilemma and enable large-scale blockchain applications. So I believe Alproc also joined our Arweave ecosystem back in 2020 with this goal in mind. So one of our projects, PermaSwap Network, it is a fully decentralized P2P network based on off-chain computation. So in this network, LPs use their self-custody accounts managed by their own keys and also perform their own computations. So really anyone can deploy programs that follow this network protocol just to provide liquidity. So that would be the older version of PermaSwap. It's also like the predecessor to the AgentFi. And with our latest version came out, the PermaSwap AO just launched. It actually lets users trade native AO assets directly just without needing deposits or withdrawals. So I would say it's greatly just improving the user experience by offering them more direct and efficiency trading with lower costs. So we have been continuously just updating and iterating our products based on AO.
Ooh, exciting stuff. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's good. You're looking at one of the most difficult problems to solve, which is security, scalability, decentralization trilemma. And you're looking at one of the most important to solve, which is user experience as well. So I really like that you're taking into account all aspects on that front. Oh, impressive.
Definitely. That's right.
Cool. Apis, Matteo.
Yeah. So more recently, Apis has been working on a AI model benchmark on AO. And then to complete this, we have a series of processes that we've created. And I'm sure everyone here is familiar with processes. They're like the smart contracts of AO. So for this benchmarking model, ultimately what the aim of this is to do is to have various models be evaluated, and for each evaluation, it takes some time for computation. So one thing that the AO computer helps facilitate is the parallelization of this benchmarking and evaluation system. So it helps it to be very streamlined. And then for Apis specifically, for this benchmarking, we have llama workers, and these are processes. So we'll have a set of llama workers, and for a given evaluation, we could split up the evaluation data set into various llama workers, and then have these llama workers perform their operations in parallel. And this helps speed up this evaluation process, and it's quite efficient. And it's something that really wouldn't be able to be achieved without the AO computer. So yeah, that's one thing we've been doing more recently. And then obviously our ultimate goal is to develop the deterministic GPU network to accelerate the AI inference on the AO ecosystem. And that's something that's currently under development, and something that will be good for the AO ecosystem. Just a collection of GPUs as part of the network will help with more efficient computations, whether it's specific to AI or these GPUs are going to be accessed for other pieces of computation outside of AI inference. All of these would be a useful addition.
Cool. No, it's really good to see that AO has opened so many doors for AI development in decentralized on blockchain. So I know that the next question is going to lead on to that a little bit more, so I'll wait for that, but great stuff. AR.io?
I think AO has definitely impacted a lot of things that we've been building. So we were big users of SmartWeave, which is kind of like the lazy evaluation of code stored on Arweave. And while that worked, it didn't really have the scale or the speed that we really needed for some of the apps that run on top of RIO, like the RNS app or the network portal that displays gateways and delegated stakes and things like that. It's just really difficult to have to wait for your transaction to fully settle on chain. So in the process of redeveloping everything for AO, that was one of the immediate things that I think hit us, was the fact that it is so fast. And sure, sometimes, it might not be as, really, really fast, and, there's an issue here and there, but, usually it works really, really well, right? So, that's one big, difference for us. The other is that, it's opened up some new, kind of areas for which our features can be applied. So like RNS, for example, the Arweave name system, that previously was really a name system for Arweave data, like your dApps or pages or pictures or NFT drops, right? We turned those transaction IDs into a friendly name and made it accessible on any of the gateways on the RIO network. So it's like RNS was doing that, and there's also, sure, a friendly name for the wallet that owned that data, right? But with AO, it kind of adds this third element, because now RNS names, since they each map to an AO process, it's really a friendly name for a process as well. So for example, if you're trying to, add your token into your wallet, for example, you got to remember that token's ID. That's pretty difficult. Now you can just remember the name. Or let's say you have a game that is, again, being used via its ID. Those are difficult to remember. So we kind of get some of these new benefits of AO by the fact that we're now using it as a platform for things like RNS. So that's definitely been exciting for me, and to, see, some of the new things that it unlocks. And there's certainly a lot of things in the future that we can get to, because AO does allow a bigger level of scale, compared to some of the SmartWeave stuff that we were doing before. So certainly, it's been a big impact to, how we've been innovating here, and, looking forward to seeing where it can really take the RIO network.
Oh, cool stuff. It's really, really good to hear how many doors that the AO ecosystem has opened, even on top of the Arweave ecosystem that was there before. And I know that you were already leading on to this. So Permaverse.
Yeah, exactly. I'm using a lot all the things that Phil made. And so thank you again. Well, yes, like AO, I think that enables, as I said before, to create really 100% decentralized and web-free games. With like Ethereum and everything, first of all, you have like high fees. That this problem has been solved into some other blockchains, but Still, I think that how it is easy to develop things on AO, it is unmatched on other blockchains. And even if I'm not a blockchain developer, I'm not a web developer, using and learning Lua, it was something, after a couple of hours, I was already experimenting with Lua. Also, the cookbook made by AO I think it's very good, and the tutorials are very good to let you understand how to build there. And this enables also a lot of things. It will be faster and without costs, or even with very few costs, to start to build your project and to publish it, so people can try it. Thanks to Arweave, thanks to AO gateways, and thanks to AO computation, I can build my project. I can pay this little amount. Actually, it was free because I had some turbo credits from Arweave, but paying zero, I could have my app running. It's 3 months that my app is running. I paid zero. Okay, AO is still in testnet, but without all this infrastructure, I would have to take a web server, host the things there. I have to buy a domain here. I didn't do all of this, and I think this is very, very powerful to speed up on the development. And yes, also Lua code is very easy. I don't know nothing about backend programming, but with Lua, I can do not only backend programming, but on-chain. So everything, it is natively integrated on-chain, and you can handle everything. And I think that also a good one thing that I want to focus on is to improve the basic UX that you have in Web3 apps that are mainly to the websites where you can access Web3 data and you can interact with smart contracts. But with gaming, you can have kind of a different, more immersive front end in which you can still interacting with smart contract, with processes, with everything, but in an immersive environment, maybe with other avatars next to you. And so it's more enables more social experiences and more immersive and I think fun experience in interacting with Web3 ecosystem infrastructure.
No, it's really cool stuff. For the last few years, I've been working mainly in Web3 gaming, and the reason I left was the reason that you're building. It's the lack of decentralization. It's there in some cases, but it's simply not there in most. So the fact that you're managing to build fully decentralized gaming systems is, really impressive. So nice one. Something that I guess no one has missed over the past couple of years, and if you have, I really advise you to open the news, is basically the rise in AI, right? We can't avoid it. It's in the news, it's in finance, it is everywhere you're looking, right now. And it's not just there, right? It's useful. People are using it on a day-to-day basis. And you've probably seen the initiatives coming out for AO, which is AI on AO. I don't know. What potential do you guys see, both short term and then maybe even long term, regarding this? I will start with Matteo at Apis because I know he has a good answer for this one, but I'm definitely curious on everyone's opinions.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. So, as far as AI on AO, it's going to be reflective of the AI development generally in Web3. Right now, we see dApps incorporating AI in different verticals. For example, in GameFi, you have now AI NPCs who you're interacting with, and there's now more AI connected to the backends of these to facilitate the gameplay. And then additionally for SocialFi, here you have your cases where your algorithms are or your feeds are algorithmically generated through an AI algorithm. And then also for DeFi, of course, we have the AI algorithms used for trading mechanisms. So there's many use cases for AI, and it's something that enhances the solutions that people were already building beforehand, but it makes things more efficient. And some things to think about here. In the short term, there's going to be plenty of development in different kinds of dApps and maybe some new innovation as to where exactly the AI will come into play. And then something to think about more in the long term is exactly how like the infrastructure of this AI will be, like the things that are supporting the AI. And that's kind of where APIS network comes into play. Like we want to ultimately facilitate a AI development community, and this is partially what I was describing earlier. So obviously you have the deterministic GPU network, which will accelerate the AI inference and make it more efficient. But there's a development community in which like there's going to be demand for a specific type of AI model. And with this demand, a professional fine tuner or somebody who who has experience in developing models would be able to develop that for a cost. So it's going to be like an exchange between this funder who like requests an AI model and then the trainer who develops it. And then ultimately other people would be able to access this, like these new models. So, if I went ahead and built a like financial trading model, and people in the community saw that like this model has good value, like there's like a good information there, then people would also be able to access that through like a payment. Yeah, there's like different things like this that have to come together and play their own roles for the AI to further develop in this, Web3 ecosystem. But yeah, it's definitely a really exciting space. And the only limitations right now that I see the like different communities having is like whether or not their AI inference is verifiable. For example, like if you if you request a specific model or prompt, then you should be able to verify whether whether the inference is actually done by that specific model and whether like the prompt was like properly inputted. Some solutions now don't have these features, but with Apis, we want to ensure that we have like completely verifiable results with all of our AI inference. Yeah.
No, definitely really cool stuff. So looking forward to seeing more from that. PermaDAO, I know that you work with, projects sort of across the ecosystem. So I'm curious what you have to say on this one as well.
Yes, for this question, I would say currently there's no blockchain can really support AI training, but AO just makes this possible, right? So I would say in the short term, Web3 AI have often been seen as a buzzword, but AO can just change this by making AI a reality. And it's currently the only blockchain that's capable of decentralized AI training, which I believe will definitely attract more projects to the ecosystem. As for the long run, I think AI on AO can do more than just computations. Since it's a global computer, and AI on AO can just empower all applications, including like finance, gaming, and social media, and more. So I think, so just take an example. PermaSwap is like working towards a unified financial protocol on AO, which will like standardize various financial operations just into a common data format. So this standardized data format will provide AI with uniform data and also computational base, which is really just enabling to easily recognize and also manage financial operations, whether it's trading, lending, or futures, right? So I would say eventually AI can perform financial activities just based on this data. And also I think recently Llama Land gone viral just with AI control game NPCs already implemented on AO. So I think in future, just game NPCs on AO might just become the intelligence life forms. yep, hope I answered that question.
No, it was really good. It's nice to hear that, you're definitely not the only person out there thinking that, AO really opens the door to
Right.
having AI on chain, right?
Yes.
You're seeing so many people on various other blockchains building similar things, and they are real. The infrastructure is there, but it can't all be computed on chain. It's just simply not possible with most of the limitations there, whereas having Arweave NAO really does remove that. So it's really,
Absolutely.
really a great step.
Yeah, and I think it's also maybe just to chime in. I think AO sure offers a level of compute that AI training can take advantage of. But I also still want to call out the fact that Arweave as a data store, I think is really important in the long run in terms of AI and how data is trained and how content is used, right? Because you figure data that's uploaded to Arweave has this really strong record of provenance, right? Who uploaded it, what time, what their address is, right? And that can't ever be changed. So I think those kinds of having that kind of proof is only going to become more and more important in the future, I think, as there's going to be more and more content created by AIs, whether it's real or faked or spoofed, what have you. Hey, maybe some of these AIs creating content are processes in AO, right? So the fact that everything is timestamped and all data is timestamped and tamper-proof that's stored on Arweave, I think that's just a fundamental power that kind of gives any of the data that's stored on it, right? So, yeah, really big piece in the long term when it comes to AI.
Are you trying to say there that you're not looking forward to a future where we have a centralized system like ChatGPT that's trained on 5 years of content produced by ChatGPT?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it's really cool stuff. Anything else you want to say there?
No,
Not
that's it
cool.
for me.
Permavaz.
Yeah, I can speak also, like, especially focusing on the gaming sector, and like we all know that AI is huge, and if we add AI power with on-chain capabilities, I think it's like even huger. And the basic example we saw it also, Joy mentioned it with Llamaland, where like gamified AI can make economical decision, and there are like they can be like NPC. You can play some games in which some are governed by AI. This is something that already happens in like gaming, like normal Web2 gaming, but having them on chain, they can make decisions also knowing, as Phil said, all like things that people have done in their past in the blockchain, because that AI will know, and yeah, I think it will be more powerful. But long term, I think that something that could be even better and more interesting is to like apply in like Sybil multiple accounts prevention and recognition. Like, since everything happening on AO is on chain, like AI could analyze behaviors of certain wallets or processes to block bots or malicious multiple users from interacting with some services. So this is a thing that can be game changing in the long term, especially in airdrop platforms. Is something I'm experiencing it actually with the permaverse. And know also that Llamaland is experiencing the same problem, is that there are really a lot of fake users trying to, people creating multiple accounts because they want to earn more amount of airdrop. In the permaverse, in the pet or rect game, in which you can pet them once per day, you have that thing. You can pet once per day. So if you want to have more airdrop, you have to create multiple accounts. And so that is like, of course, not legit to do. So I'm already applying a lot of systems to trying to find them. I put the vouch system, vouch Twitter protocol. So people have to connect their Twitter in order to register. But even here, like, I think there is like a crazy market of Twitter accounts. All these people are buying Twitter accounts, and only yesterday I had more than 500 people registered, and I'm almost sure that 400 can be at least multiple fake accounts. But every one of these guys had a Twitter handle connected. And this is crazy, I think. And using AI to analyze maybe the behaviors of all these wallets and understanding like if they are like real people or just bot. I think this is really cool and can save a lot of airdrops, because that like having these malicious people then will ruin the airdrop because it become not fair anymore. So yeah, I want to promote fairness and decentralization. So I think this is a very, very interesting application.
No, it's really cool. Again, it's nice to hear that we had, 4 very different answers that both all showing the versatility and really the potential that AI is going to have and on AO. So, really cool there. Looking at blockchain as an industry, I mean, my background, I was working at Spotify in 2011 and 2012, and I thought I was working in one of the fastest changing industries back then. Since 2017, I've been working with smart contracts, and I don't think I've ever seen an industry move as fast as blockchain. So since all of us here are building in the blockchain industry, what has been your personal biggest difficulty that you face trying to develop in that, and how have you sort of overcome that yourselves? Let's start with the permaverse.
Yeah. So like my biggest difficulty maybe came from the fact that I wasn't even a blockchain developer. So like I'm starting and learning all these months, but I really actually like the possibilities and the evolution of Web3 to, as I said, to improve the gaming ecosystem. And yes, maybe it is the most difficult is to do something that is really innovative and new, because when you develop like normal games or just normal Web2 interfaces, like you have a lot of libraries, you have a lot of people who made that before, and so it's easier to just see what people have done before and just maybe improve just little improvements. Here we are like innovating, and when you innovate it's more difficult because it's something new, but I think it's also a lot more interesting and great. Like you feel like better, when you can have the power and the possibility to build something new that can help all the ecosystem to grow. So yeah, I think it's more difficult, but pleasing. Yeah.
No, I think that's good. I think challenges in life are important, right? Let's see. Matteo.
Yeah, so for us, the most significant difficulty that we're encountering at Apis is developing the deterministic GPU. So like this is a process that involves some intricate modifications to the CUDA driver. And it requires some extreme precision and like meticulous attention to detail. So if there's a single mistake, then it could like mess up the driver, and it's just like a really complicated process. So we're working with some systems engineers to discuss different approaches to this. Yeah, but there's been a recent development by Google with their TPUs. So something we're looking to do for this is to integrate the TPUs to create a WebAssembly runtime environment. And then this approach is a promising solution because these TPUs are high performing and they ensure the deterministic execution through the standardized WASM environment. And yeah, like by first using these TPUs, this would be like our first proof of concept of having a deterministic environment to run inference on. Ultimately, still the deterministic GPU network is something that we're still like working on, but it's definitely a challenge. Our team, like the members of our team haven't had experience in modifying these drivers before, so yeah, the collaboration with the systems engineers are very helpful. But like this is it's obviously something that hasn't been done before. So it's still like a challenge that we need to overcome and really like plan a thorough solution to. But yeah, I mean, it's all really interesting and exciting, but yeah, it's definitely challenging.
Yeah, I guess playing at the forefront of both blockchain, which is always moving fast, and AI, which everyone can see is also moving fast, sort of puts an extra dilemma on top of things. So it is going to be interesting seeing what the Google TPUs can do. The 6th generations, I believe, came out last month. So exciting stuff there. PermaDAO, I can imagine you've come across a few.
Yeah, so I would say the difficulties of just the blockchain technology itself. So like understanding, also explaining concepts like smart contract, decentralized storage, and cryptographic security just to new users, newcomers can be sort of daunting. And we just address this by simplifying our onboarding process, and just offering educational resources just to help users understand how our products works. And on the broader front, there's also user entry barriers, like managing their keys have been a significant hurdle. And one of our products, EverID, just by EverVision, address this just with like smart accounts, really just reducing the needs for keys and making it just easier for users. I think also there's this transaction fees are another major challenge. There's like high fees on chain like Ethereum and Solana have been a barrier. But AO's focus on storage has like largely just lowered this cost.
No, that's really cool. And AR.io?
Yeah, I think, challenges that we face, maybe some are just startup challenges, like when you're trying to build a team, a business community, there's, just big hurdles you end up facing, right? Whether, for us, I think, a few of them that really come to mind. We had a really big customer come along and we spent a lot of time and energy trying to satisfy their needs and requirements, and everything was working great. And then one day they decided they didn't want to move forward with the service, right? So you spend all this time and energy into something and building technology and it doesn't work out. So we ended up reusing that, right? Those uploading features all turned into Turbo. So it's kind of like making the best out of, a situation that, didn't work out the way you wanted. Speaking of, Joy, you just mentioned onboarding, for the Arweave app, the Web3 Dropbox that we're working on, onboarding has continually been a challenge for users, right? The whole premise of the app, is that it's supposed to be easy to use and, for a Web 2 style audience, right? So they know nothing about crypto or Arweave. They just want it to work and work like other apps that they've used. So we've had to spend a lot of time, revamping the onboarding flows and, listening to user feedback and looking at app stats to see where users are getting hung up in that initial, onboarding journey. And, way back when for our drive, it was super difficult to log in, right? You needed a JSON file. Like, you ask a Web 2 person if they have this JSON wallet and you look like you have 10 heads, right? So it's obfuscating those things, making it easy to create wallets, making it easy to pay. So it's like you're kind of doing these things in a way that really upholds all the decentralization, aspects. It doesn't sacrifice too much on them. I think that's just a battle a lot of teams are continually facing, making retail apps. And then I know we're talking about AO here, right? AO didn't really exist 6 months ago. So, for us, it's been another big challenge, is pivoting quick, right? We had SmartWeave. The RIO testnet was like 98% completed. And, AO comes along and we had to move really quick. We didn't know Lua. We didn't have any of these processes built around, CI/CD and deploying things to AO. And I'm sure a lot of the teams here are facing these kinds of things now, right? To effectively build on AO. It's just so new. the architecture isn't fully complete. So I think we're all taking some leaps of faith, just working on the bleeding edge of technology, and that always comes with challenges, right? And I think that's also what makes it exciting too, right? That it is, it's not, fully written on the page, so to speak, and we're actually in the process of writing it. So, yeah, lots of difficulties, and I'd like to think that we overcame most of them, and that's, probably more to come in the future still.
I think that answer definitely probably resonates with everyone here, and definitely leads on to the next question really well too. Being, all of us are part of the Arweave, and AO ecosystem, right? And I guess if you look at overall as just the blockchain ecosystems too, but I mean, Arweave and AO specifically, what do you think we can do as individual projects, or together as an ecosystem, to boost awareness and understanding and potentially sort of help onboarding too? So let's start with PermaDAO on that, since you're working across a few projects.
Yeah, so in PermaDAO, we host various guilds and activities. It really just covering education and also outreach programs. It's actually similar to today's space. And we also organize developer meetups, and discussions multiple times a week, which is it's really just vibrant and dynamic community. And also at permadao.com, we always follow streamlined process for our events. Just from create, organize, produce, and promote. Those are the process we follow around. So we really just believe this structured approach helps developer develop high quality, also impactful events, consistently. And more importantly, we just always aim for the mass adoption of blockchain rather than it being a toy or select a few. So as a community, we always build what the ecosystem needs.
Really good answer there. Let's see, Apis Network.
Yeah, so to boost awareness and understanding of the Arweave and AO ecosystem, I think we just have to continue doing events like this, where we interact as a community, and also the Arweave Day was really nice in Berlin, as well as a hackathon. These were excellent events, because I know that was their first in-person hackathon, and they've done a really good job in the past of hosting the virtual hackathons. And those have been very nice. And recently they also had this AI on AO presentation, which was also great. So yeah, I mean, continually posting on Twitter, and also just holding more interactive events like this or demo days are pretty essential to maintaining a good sense of a growing and engaging community. And this is my first experience with Arweave and AO, and from an outsider's perspective, coming into this, the community seems very tight knit. Everyone's here to help each other. And if you want to reach out to anybody from this community, it's open doors. So, I really respect that from the Arweave and AO community. And yeah, it's just generally been a great experience so far.
That's a really good point you mentioned there. It's definitely the most collaborative and least competitive, in a negative way at least, community within the Web3 space that I've worked in. So it's really good to see that people are working together and not against each other all the time.
Yeah.
AR.io?
Yeah, and maybe to just echo what Matteo was saying about, going to these interactive events, whether virtual, whether Twitter or X Spaces, show up, listen. I think the founders in the space, the people working on these teams, I think they have some interesting things to say. And especially if it's an in-person event, if you manage to get to one of those, I think that's really something special. The Berlin event this year was just phenomenal. So if you're looking to be a new builder, I highly recommend that. Right, communication is key. Another big important piece is for everyone to just use one another's tools, right? Like there's so much development going on there. You just mentioned, it's not all super competitive. And I think that's, for a good reason, right? There's teams building on top of one another. And I think you end up with, richer tool sets, more comments going in, and more feedback. So, if you are someone new, coming into the ecosystem, check to see what's out there. Don't immediately try to just redevelop the wheel. Especially in AO, there's a lot of new ideas and things coming in. So, do a little bit of research and use the tools that might exist that fits your need. And then, of course, use the other, community education pieces that are out there, knowledge bases that are out there. I know the cookbook is a big one, right? So if the community maintains these kind of, I don't know, public square is the right word, or community good, knowledge bases, I think that just makes it, again, easier for new teams to come on board and for teams to also maintain good docs for their products in this central community repository. So it kind of goes both ways, like use it as a place to learn, but don't be afraid to go and put your own technology in it. I think that's maybe a few ideas on how to boost awareness and understanding.
No, I think that's all really good stuff there as well. And Permaverse, I'm interested to hear your opinion on this, being a slightly newer comer to the space.
Yeah, I agree. First of all, with the others that like this community, also the like the feelings that were like at Arweave Day in Berlin. It was like awesome with all these like smart people building incredible products, and also the ecosystem that is made by little blocks that are helping other projects to be built. As like the example is like the third time I said that in this space, but I'm building the Permaverse thanks to AirDrive, thanks to ARIO. So thanks to also the vouch system that was made by I don't know if like Tom maybe. Rakis. But yeah, like, I really like from this ecosystem, and this was something I want to tell to people that are maybe approaching into this ecosystem. They're new and they want to build, as like Phil said, like go, like see all the other projects that are already in what they're doing, and also take advantage of them. Of what they do to build something on top on them. I really hope that also with when I will release my Permaverse SDK for Unity, that I will be able to onboard a lot of Unity developers to develop Web3 decentralized games on AO. And I really like this about this ecosystem, that everyone is helping each other, and people can start to develop their own projects because others are helping. And also Discord. I had some, for sure, like I was totally new to this ecosystem, so I had so many questions. And on the AO Discord server, on ARIO server too, I got so much help and to understand everything. I think everything is very clear. I mean, like it's very well documented and everything, but like having the support of like people who have really built the stuff you're using, I think it's awesome. So even if like people have some problems, they came into the Permaverse Discord and we like just fix it for them. So yeah, that's it.
It's really nice. It's really great to hear the amount of sort of care people have here for the ecosystem, and also the willingness to collaborate, right? It's definitely not the same across Web3. Just to feel that, but just here now with the Arweave and AO ecosystem, and you guys, I think that's really special.
If can I add something else that I think is very important to mention? Also, a big shout out to Weavers, because if I'm here, it was also because of their hackathons. I started to develop actually the first version of the Permaverse. It was just this Retroact game because it was a hackathon. So I was working in a different company. I just quitted my job actually just like 12 days ago to start to work fully on Arweave, and that was only thanks to Weavers that they organized this hackathon. And not only like thanks also to them, and also to all like Phil and all this ecosystem and what they're like doing for me. And I think it was very good, like something good to mention, and I was almost forgetting, but it was very important for me. And also for new developers, Weavers also have a hackathon ongoing that will start in a couple of weeks, I think. And so also feel free to reach and see on their like Discord and Twitter pages announcement on that, because this is, I think, a very good starting point to have the fuel and the inspiration to start to build your own project.
No, I think that was a really nice thing to be doing as well. All of us had help to get where we were. None of us built our knowledge from scratch. And I think that's always important to recognize, right? So, I think that's really appreciated. I'm sure they appreciated that. I do want to give anyone who's on here a chance to ask questions. I know that we've already gone on for a while. Because I do want to give you guys a quick chance to, just mention any upcoming events or announcements for your projects too. But just quickly, if there is anyone in the audience who does want to ask a question to any of our guests today, if you could just request to speak, can probably only go for a couple. But yeah, I'll bring you up now. Eltio, you should be up there as speaker.
For letting me speak. A big shout out to all the builders in this space. Shout out to Simon, everyone from the RL team. I'm from the Weavers team, and I do appreciate he shouted out our events. I posted something in the comment box if you guys want to learn more about our coming event that's coming up next week, Rate 3. But I wanted to ask a question. I know, Simon, you're working really hard, Permaverse, and you mentioned some projects that you're working on. Is there anything you can share as to like what you're working on now, what we can see in the next couple of weeks, or is this still like under the covers? You kind of talk about it. I'm just a bit curious because I know you're putting a lot of work into the Permaverse and everything that you're working on.
Yeah, sure. Like at the moment, like my big work is on doing some R&D to adding the last piece of decentralization that I need to have the Permaverse 100% decentralized. Because at the moment, so the app is stored on Arweave, it is computed on AO, and is accessible through the ARAO gateways. But the multiplayer part, so the fast real-time multiplayer synchronization of the avatar moving around and jumping around, it is made thanks to a centralized service made by Unity. It's like a simple relay service that shares all the multiplayer information throughout the connected peers. It's kind of a peer-to-peer connection. And so my big task and aim is to have also this part on AO. So to build a complete Web3 infrastructure also for multiplayer. That will like bring 100% Web3. At the moment, it's like Web 2.9, but at least like it's more than Web 2.1 of all the other Web3 like fake Web3 games that are in the space. But yeah, this is something I really care about. And then after I will have the platform completely decentralized, I will focus more on improving the infrastructure, adding some games, because at the moment, in the Permaverse, you can just go there once per day, pet Dum and earn some points. That also will lead to a future Dum airdrop. We will announce more things. I hope that maybe in July we can announce some more details. But we will see. But yes, I would like to add games, like gamified activities there. At the moment, for example, there are every Saturday a poker game in Discord. I would like to bring this kind of activities directly inside the Permaverse. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Simon. I know you said something about an SDK, but maybe that's too early to talk about. But either way, I would tell everyone, we built a nice server over at the Permaverse, a thriving community. Like you said, this project came out of one of the Arweave hackathon, and now he has a community of about 3,000 members in the Permaverse Discord. I'm also the community manager there, so if you guys have questions, jump in there, jump into the Weavers Discord. We're here to help. Thank you, Simon. Can't wait to see you again. I met him in person at Berlin. Amazing individual. Support him just for the person who he is, I would say. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, Altio. Yes, the SDK will come also after, of course, one of the most important part of the SDK is also the multiplayer part. So I would just release the first part of the SDK with the Unity relay system, but I really would like to have the complete, full decentralized platform before releasing the SDK, the first version of the SDK. But yes, of course, that is the first, the most important thing after solving the multiplayer decentralized problem. Thank you again.
I got a question. I'd like to put this to the guys here that are from the PermaDAO. I mean, we have bridging tokens and so on that's working pretty good. But for a lot of people that are on the Arweave and AO platform that are non-techies, is there any kind of plans or something to kind of put in place similar to what Arweave is using, where people will simply be able to buy a token to get what they want with their credit card?
For that, product-wise development, well, it will definitely under our roadmap if it's something, but it's something like we can achieve just in the short term. But yeah, that's one of the things that we definitely have in mind. Yeah, and also I understand what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a little comment on that. So as you can imagine, there's a little complexity with one person spending dollars and getting a token on the other end. Complexity like risk and regulatory, money changing complexity. With that said, I know that there's Bazaar, and that's been moved over to AO, and I know Bazaar integrates with Helix.
Yes.
Yes. As a place to upload your files. I know Helix is integrated with Turbo, so you can buy your credits to do your uploads. So I think it's getting explored, for at least the perspective of minting assets. Easily buying Wrapped AR or Trunk or other tokens like that with a credit card. I'm really not sure who is doing anything in that space, but I know there are some new things coming out like Astro and new financial products that are being built every day. So we'll just have to see what comes out.
Yes, it's definitely under our radar though. Yeah.
Okay, I just want to mention one other point because this is the second time I've heard about this, the regulatory part. Now, I mean, people that just common sense wise think about this, I don't know where all this regulatory stuff comes in, because if people are from or have knowledge of the New York City area for decades, you were able to buy a subway token and use this token to get on the subway and get a ride. This is what we're talking about with Arweave. All I want to do is buy a token so I can buy this person's art or their creativity, a song. So, I'm not really sure where all of this SEC and create regulations should really come in.
Yeah, I hear you. It's a pain, especially if you're in the U.S. So all I could say is if you're planning on selling any tokens, please consult your legal advisor.
I think that was the best answer there. It's definitely a really valid point. But yeah, unfortunately, we do live in a world where it's, potentially slightly overregulated, especially for you guys in the US. But yeah, if we fail to follow them, we are the ones who get, a big foot on our heads at the moment. So fingers crossed we, move into a slightly easier regulatory future. But, that's yet to be seen, I feel. Think we got time for maybe one more question if anyone wants to speak. Otherwise, I'll let everyone just go through any announcements, or upcoming events that they've got coming for their projects. No,
I'll just add, keep building. I've worked with many other communities. I think the Arweave community is special. Everyone here is focused on the tech and not rugging each other. And I'm impressed about that. And like, Simon said, we at Weavers, we have great events, both virtual and IRL. We have one coming up next week called Raid 3. It's for creative, and also developers. So you don't have to have technical skills to participate, but it's a great way to learn about the different tools that you can use in Arweave and also get incentivized to build. And like Simon said, we've seen many projects come out of our hackathons and have huge success. I'll mention Elliot, who also is behind Llamaland, and also his project SQL Lite came out of one of our hackathons as well. So just come and build. It doesn't matter if you're from Arweave, from Ethereum, Avalanche. It doesn't matter. We want all developers here testing out AO and building on Arweave. So you're all welcome.
And just to throw that straight back at you, Weavers, you sound really knowledgeable on the space. If you're interested in joining perhaps one of our spaces in the future, please reach out to us. It'd be a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thank you. I'll make sure to share that with the team.
Brilliant. Nice. All right. So let's just go through, I don't know, I'm guessing that everyone has either upcoming events, announcements, milestones that their projects are hitting, or just something that they're really excited to share, about, either maybe just themselves personally or the project. So, Permaverse, I know you've kind of already been asked this, but, I guess I'll ask you again.
Yeah, like as I said before, in this the next week, we'll announce a bit of the tokenomics and some details about Dum airdrop. Yeah, we are like finishing to like structure everything with also AO team. But yeah, like I can tell nothing at the moment yet, but we will announce something in the next week, the next weeks. And also, as like I said before, my focus is to integrate this multiplayer infrastructure to be completely on chain, and then release the first version of the Permaverse SDK, so the developers can start to work and build Unity apps that are 100% decentralized on AO. I know like there are here people even listening that are asking me, and yes, this is first priority after I will finish with this multiplayer part. So yeah, this is the short term. This will be our Permaverse will focus the development, while also continue to fight against these civils and multiple accounts. So, and adding new measures to avoid bots or even these farming people that are creating multiple accounts to ruin the airdrop, because I'm for fairness, for a fair protocol, a fair airdrop, and a fair ecosystem as AO.
Cool. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it, and we'll be paying attention to see what's coming up shortly. Philip at AR.io.
Yeah, I'll try to keep it short and sweet. We just moved to AO, moved the RIO testnet to AO, so we're kind of watching, waiting, getting feedback on how that goes as we prepare for mainnet launch. Maybe we'll start doing some upcoming hackathons now that the REO SDK 2.0 has been released. Kind of encourage some cool things getting built there. We're still running our Zealy quests, so check that out if you're interested in earning some EXP, which is our token that is a proxy for our mainnet rewards. And I think upcoming events, I believe next week there's, some Arweave Day in Shanghai, I think. That's getting coordinated. We'll have to release some more details on that soon. I think there's an Arweave Japan event at the end of July that we'll probably make some kind of appearance at. And then in October, for anyone in the US, we'll be at Permissionless. So, yeah, would love to meet anyone who is interested in RIO.
Cool. Thank you. Joy, what's coming up at PermaDAO?
Yeah, I would just add some based on just what Philip just said. It was, I think it was the Hyperpower event, the AO tour in China. So, on July 27th in Japan, August 1st is in Hong Kong. So yeah, PermaDAO will be hosting the technical sharing sessions. Yeah, so that's one of the tour event. On the product-wise milestones, there's AOX just launched MPC last week. So we'll also be organizing events around this important milestones. Also, there's PermaSwap is launching Fusion Fi just with an order book testnet going live this month. So we just want to invite everyone to join the activities. Yeah. Thank you everyone for your time. We just always welcome here to join PermaDAO. Always looking forward to connecting and thriving.
Cool. Thank you, Joy. And it's really good to hear that there's so much in-person, events being placed for the Arweave and AO ecosystem coming up. Matteo for Apis Network. Matteo? Well, I guess I can answer this question myself. So yeah, just on this, we do have our benchmark proof of concept announcement is going live on Monday on the 15th. So we're really excited to have that out. It will be testable, which will be just benchmarking our actual data sets on chain through AO. So that will be live announcement and published then. And we have our playground also going live at the end of the month. So on the 31st, that should be there for everyone to come along and actually test out what we're doing with AI on AO. So we got some big things coming up, that we're really looking forward to. So I think we've got Matteo coming back then. I really want to thank PermaDAO for co-hosting this. Thank all of you guys who've come on as speakers, and thank everyone who's joined as guests. If you got any feedback, please just send us a message on social media. For those, I know some of you, who've joined, are already in partnerships or collaboration. Perhaps there's potential collaboration between others who aren't. But otherwise, big love to everyone who's here. Have a good week, and hopefully we'll see you on volume 2. Take care, guys.
Thank you very much for hosting. This has been great.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
See everyone.
Yeah.
Bye bye.